Every home cook needs to have a bullpen of go-to recipes that can be pulled from the pantry at a moment's notice.
And today we're bringing you 2 home-run pantry pastas that you can call on whenever you need to whip up a weeknight dinner.
First up, pasta e ceci.
Now, pairing pasta and beans is not uncommon. Think of pasta fagioli.
But pasta e ceci is a lesser-known Italian pasta and bean dish made with chickpeas.
And there are millions of variations for this dish out there, and we looked at them all.
Now, one of the problems that we found with a lot of recipes was lack of flavor. And we're going to get to fixing this right now with a star ingredient, pancetta. We love pancetta, right?
We love pork.
We love pork, and pancetta can make almost anything better. But what we were looking for was a real savory flavor in our pasta e ceci. And pancetta, which is unsmoked bacon, it's cured but not smoked, has that really savory flavor. Now, this is 2 ounces of pancetta. We don't want big pieces of pancetta floating around in our pasta e ceci. We want it to almost melt away. So we're going to use the food processor to turn this into a really nice smooth paste. That'll take about 30 seconds. All right, so that looks pretty good. Pancetta's nice and smooth. Now we'll go ahead and add the first batch of our vegetables. This is 1 carrot cut into half-inch pieces, and 1 rib or stalk, depending on where you're from, of celery, also cut into half-inch pieces, and 4 whole garlic cloves. This time I'll go ahead and pulse it about 8 to 10 pulses. I'm looking for the pieces of the vegetables to cut down into a pretty fine consistency. All right, that looks pretty good. So now I'll go ahead and add the onions. Now this is 1 onion cut into 1-inch pieces. And again, I'll go ahead and pulse this about 8, maybe 10 more times until they are pretty fine as well. But we don't want the onions to be as fine. Somewhere between 1/4 to 1/2 inch in size. That is pretty good. So I'll go ahead and place this right in the Dutch oven.
Boy, it really smells good, too.
Yeah, it does. Thank you, pancetta. Now, all I'm going to do is add 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. I'll put this over medium heat. I'm going to cook this, stirring it frequently. I'm not looking for any of the vegetables to really brown, but we are looking for some color on the bottom of the pot. That's going to be really good fun, which means flavor for our pasta e ceci.
That smells good.
Oh, yes, it does. That's only 5 minutes it took to really start to get some color on the bottom of the pot.
And it rendered that pancetta.
That's right. So now we're going to continue to build more flavor, especially more savory flavor, with our first ingredient, anchovies. It's 1 anchovy fillet. We rinsed it, patted it dry, and minced it very fine. Nobody's ever going to know what's in there.
I always throw 1/2 anchovy into things when I want it to have a meatier flavor.
That's a good idea. We have a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, a little kick, not too kicky, but a little kick, and 2 teaspoons of fresh minced rosemary.
Ooh, that's gonna be good. Ooh, that with the pancetta. And weirdly, it's the carrots, the sweet flavor of the carrots that I'm smelling. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Those are good flavors.
So we're gonna leave this for about a minute. I'm gonna go back to the food processor. Dirty bowl, that's more than fine because we're gonna go ahead and process our tomatoes. This is 1 14-ounce can of tomatoes, and we drained it. They're whole tomatoes, and I'm going to break them down just with a few pulses. We don't want that tomato liquid in there. We really just want the tomato pulp. All right.
Relinquish the spatula.
Back at the pot, we'll go ahead and add our tomatoes right in.
So you didn't process them fine. There's still a few chunks in there.
Yeah, we want a little bit of texture there on our tomatoes. Now we're going to turn this into a soup. It's kind of a brothy soup stew. What would you call it?
I don't know.
Dinner. And we're going to use canned chickpeas. These are 15-ounce cans of chickpeas. We're going to use the broth and all.
Really? You're going to use the canning liquid?
That's exactly right. So there's tons of starch in there. And actually, we really want that in here because it's going to give the pasta e ceci a really good body.
So that packing liquid, it's just water, right?
That's right. Yep, that's exactly how these are cooked. Chickpeas and water, they're put into the cans, then the cans are processed and they're cooked right in the can. This is 2 cups of water, no vegetable broth. We really want these flavors to be front and center.
Well, essentially, you're making your own broth.
That's very true. And 1 teaspoon of table salt. So I'm going to bring this up to a boil. After that, I'll reduce the heat to medium-low, let this simmer for about 10 minutes. Oh, yes.
Ooh, that's coming along. The smells are coming along.
We're actually quite near the end here. This is pretty much all we need except for one thing. Pasta. We're going to go ahead and add our ditalini. This is 8 ounces of ditalini, which in Italian means little dita. No, it doesn't. It's also 1.5 cups, so 8 ounces is more important than a cup measurement because pasta varies in size. We're gonna let this cook for about 10 minutes this time until the pasta is tender. And this is great. We added the chickpeas first, gave it a 10-minute head start on the pasta so that they could break down just a little bit more. We wanted them to have a really nice tender texture.
That looks awesome.
That's all you're gonna say. That looks awesome.
It does.
Well, the pasta has absorbed a lot of that liquid in there. It's going to be such a hearty dish with concentrated flavor. So I'm going to turn the heat off. A couple of last-minute additions. A tablespoon of chopped fresh parsley. There's the green. And a little bit of lemon juice. A tablespoon as well, just to brighten this dish. A little bit of salt and pepper. I always find that pasta dishes or dishes with a lot of starch in them need quite a bit of seasoning. Final stir, and dishes are done.
Wow. A couple minutes for the aromatics, 10 minutes to simmer the sauce, 10 minutes for the pasta. That's less than half an hour.
That's right. Good job.
Yeah, I can add.
For your reward, you get pasta e ceci. Oh, if you'd like, we have some Parmesan cheese. This is about 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. You can sprinkle it over. Also, a little bit of olive oil to drizzle on. I think that really adds something. Now, I do want to say to anybody out there that's been watching and hearing us say pasta e ceci, for you in New Jersey, it's pasta cheech, okay?
Well, this looks so good.
I mean, how hearty. Oh.
Now, I know you just made it with water because you built all that flavor, but this is so complex with the pancetta and then the aromatics, the garlic, the rosemary.
You know, there wasn't a lot of liquid going into the pot at the beginning, and that's why the flavors are so concentrated.
And I love the two textures of that chewy ditalini, and then you get that creamy chickpea texture. Nice work, Bridget. This is amazing.
On your menu now, right?
To give this simple pantry pasta some serious flavor, start by processing the pancetta into a fine paste, along with some carrots, celery, onion, and garlic. When making the sauce, add anchovy and rosemary to the pot, along with the chickpea canning liquid for a well-rounded flavor and nicely thickened texture. Finally, use a small pasta like ditalini and cook it right in the sauce so that it can absorb all of those flavors. So there you have it, from the test kitchen to your kitchen, a killer pantry-friendly recipe for pasta e ceci.
Pasta cheech.
Thanks for watching America's Test Kitchen. What'd you think?
Well, leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or you can just say hello.
You can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
I'll see you later.